Our guest today was in his third year at the University of Richmond studying drumming and percussion, and then he discovered the guitar. When you hear him performing his original songs, you'd think he's been doing this his entire life. Join us as we catch up with singer-songwriter Michael Coleman. Come on.
All I ever wanted, someone to tell me I was doing all right, doing just fine. All I ever needed.
I love that song, Michael. I love that's one of my favorites.
Ah, thank you.
It's so great to be hanging out with you today.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Your family, you have a lot of music in your family, right?
Oh,
Tell us a little about that.
So, yeah, my sister, I have a bunch of sisters. One of them plays piano.
You have a bunch. You're the third of 7 children, right?
Third of 7 children,
and
there's 6 girls.
6 girls.
The only boy. One of my sisters plays piano, one sings very well, and then everybody sort of gets together and sings all the time, especially over the holidays nowadays, but childhood was, you know, everybody was always gathered around the piano.
And you have a great-grandmother who had a piano that Art Tatum
Yeah. She had a
on?
piano, and at the time, Art Tatum didn't own a piano.
And those people who are not familiar with Art Tatum, such an influential pianist in the jazz world,
Yeah.
Incredible artist.
And he used to pop over in the afternoons to my great-grandmother's house and rehearse. My grandfather would walk in after school and he'd be in there hanging out. So,
well,
yeah.
And your mom always sang. Your mom always had a beautiful voice and was always singing growing up, right?
She sang growing up and then was in choirs in college, and then when we were kids, you know, whether it was chores or getting ready for bed, she always had a song for everything. So yeah, music and singing was definitely a part of all our lives very early on.
You went off to school, to college, to study drumming and percussion and jazz and
Right.
you know, jazz performance. You were not playing the guitar.
No, I hadn't even thought about playing a guitar. It seemed like a daunting task, and I just wasn't interested in it until third year of college.
How did that happen?
A friend of mine was graduating, and she gave me her guitar because she didn't have room for it in her car. That's actually this one right here.
Oh my gosh, the Yamaha.
Yeah, and she gave it to me, and I sort of put it in my closet for the summer, and then at the start of my third year, I decided to mess around with it, and yeah, the rest is history.
Yeah,
at this
and I mean,
point.
everything else went right out the window, and it was
Everything.
all, you just wanted to write and sing and play all the time.
Yeah.
And you've been doing that now for a handful of years.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how your style has been growing and changing and some of the different things you've been focused on over the years.
Started off, you know, very limited, and then the more I learned, the more complicated or advanced my songs became. And you know, I was mostly influenced by sort of pop singer-songwriters at the beginning, and then that expanded into, you know, classic songwriters like James Taylor, and then, you know, as I started playing with the band, it was you know, Stevie Wonder and some R&B and blues. So yeah, slowly all of these elements trickled in to define what the sound is now. You can't tell me just what I need, hiding behind your dirty deed. It's coming fast, don't look away. We're gonna get justice today. Now we've got a whole lot ahead, and no fear, it's all in your head. Now break through and keep your word. Now make sure every voice is heard. Let me hear you say, come on.
It kind of just flows out of us. It's pretty remarkable to be able to create in this way. I've never been able to just let this kind of creative flow happen. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
So why the name Free Union?
Rob Dunnenberger, who plays drums for Free Union, he's one of my best friends. We had been writing songs together, and Rob and I wanted to have something that just honored Charlottesville in some sort of way. And we were researching different townships in the area and settled on Free Union because that town and their sort of mission statement was we're a place for all people of all religions and races. And so we thought, well, our music is for all different types of people, young, old, black, white, brown, whatever. And so that really sat with us, and we thought it sounded kind of cool too.
And in your band, quite often is your sister Carrie.
Yeah. She sang with us one night and just had so much fun. And so anytime she's available, she comes in and sings with us. And she sang all over the EP and all over our latest tunes.
And when you set out to make that EP, what were you thinking?
Those were just the 5 songs that we felt most comfortable with putting together. We thought they made a nice cohesive sort of representation of Free Union. Again, it was early on, so we were, we didn't have a ton of material to go off of. So it's like, this is it.
The response has been fantastic.
Yeah.
To that.
Yeah.
So, kind of, what's your plan going from there?
We're going to try to take it as far as we can. We started off just wanting to put something different out there, and we knew it was good, but we didn't think it would sort of have the reception that it has, and it sort of defined how we want to move forward, just as individuals and as partners in this group. But yeah, I mean, sky's the limit for us at this point. We're just trying to push as hard as we can.
There's a lot of really good players in town and in Richmond that we draw upon to create kind of a community around this idea of inclusiveness and genres, and we're trying to spread that in Charlottesville and abroad.
I always tell Michael that I'm watching everyone in the crowd and kind of watching their reactions to him. I think that's my favorite part, and how much people are immersed in his music and loving it and grooving to it. I think that was one of the best things about it, was people's reaction to his music.
What's up now? We're Free Union.
You won the Rockin to Lockn competition, so this is an opportunity for bands to play and sort of compete to have a spot on the main stage at the Lockn Festival in Nelson County, which is huge. How'd that feel?
Amazing. It was a shot in the dark. I'd always sort of thought about doing it, but then we just decided to go for it.
Who we are, I wanna tell you it gets better.
And you've released more songs since the EP. Tell us about a couple of those.
Yeah, we released It Gets Better, which sort of came out of, we'd been working for hours on another song and then ultimately gave up on it. And we're just sitting there, and I was like, well, I've got this other idea. And I played these 2 chords, and we just dug in on that for about an hour. And we thought it was a demo. We sent it to our producer, and he was like, no, this is ready.
I heard it gets better. She can't escape the weather now.
Now tell us about Mr. Natural.
Mr. Natural is a quirky little tune that, again, came together really fast, but it's about over-promising and under-delivering, and you're not Superman all the time.
It's hard to remember all that we've done. We're taking it serious, just having fun. I can't explain it, you're gonna see. Music and loving, it's all that we need. I'll take it for a ride.
What is it like to sort of grow up and hone your skills in the Charlottesville community with the Charlottesville music scene? You and I have talked about that in the past, and it's special.
I never would have done anything. I think I would never have gotten as far as I have without the songwriting community initially. You know, from I think the first place I ever played, it was the local.
Yeah.
The scene in Charlottesville is so rich and diverse. You have, you know, the singer-songwriter, folk, Americana, rock, jazz, and the jazz scene is just popping into any just bar on any given night of the week. You have some of the greatest musicians in the world
Yeah.
playing. That is a treasure, and that's something that I think has defined who I am as an artist, and all those guys continue to inspire. I love it.
And you have another really great inspiration. You have this beautiful little girl, and you have
Yeah.
your lovely wife, Hannah.
Yeah.
Talk about, and that can be tricky too,
Mm-hmm.
you know, talk about the joys and the challenges of doing all of this and having a family life.
I thought it was going to be sort of like, this is where it all sort of fizzles out in a way, because, you know, I come from a very close-knit, loving family, and so does Hannah, and so it's very important to me that Sophie sort of has that experience too. But thankfully, Hannah's family has a deep appreciation for live music.
Weren't her
and
parents like, didn't they follow the Grateful Dead?
They did. They
You are
did.
so safe.
I found that out pretty quickly because I was nervous about that. But yeah, and so with careful planning, Hannah and I have managed to balance, you know, work and music and raising a child. And Sophie's come to a bunch of concerts now, and she loves music, and I love getting to share that experience with her. So it's been amazing.
Michael, I'm so excited for you. I
Thank
can't
you.
wait to say I knew him when.
Thank you so much.
We can't give up too long. This